Good morning and welcome back to the normal play. It's been a while. Today we are playing Where the Goats Are. I know we've been doing a lot of pod racing lately. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. But, I don't know, this game just sort of seemed interesting. One by one, everyone else left. Some left for the city. Some to more fruitful lands. But now there is no one left. Except my goat. So this is supposed to... Oh, there's another one! I call you Mustard, and you Pink Eye. Tikva! Goat. Hey! Oh, okay, so I control her. So this is supposed to be a calming, meditative game, which I thought would be nice, just for a small change of pace. A nice, quiet, meditative game, you know. Aww, I can love my goat. That's nice. If you love your animals, they will love you back. Where did Mustard go? Mustard! Mustard! Add more milk to the pot. Oh, it tells you what to do. Why didn't I? Oh, there's Mustard. Why didn't I think of that? Fill up the watering can at the well. Oh, here's the well. My chickens are free range and not by choice. I have a stick. I have a stick. I shall carry my stick behind my back and... Ooh. Dear Hale Tikva, I am writing to you from my new writing desk on the 13th floor of my new apartment in Jujul City. I have spent a week at the new firm and can say that the people in the city move much faster than back in the country. Quite literally faster. Feet move quicker in the city than in the country. I'm sure my pace will quicken though. I mean, I have to keep up. It's not so bad though. I feel I have a better head start than most newcomers from the countryside. I mean, I can safely say that not everyone in this office has chased an escaped goat up and down the fjord for 5 hours in the winter and caught the sod no less. Woo! Anyway, I work in a big office block now. There seems to be endless cubicles and desks on my floor. Less than half of them are occupied at any one time, mind you. Sounds like my work. And it's almost a 4-minute walk to the manager's office, which is always closed. Each worker is asked to report once a week to a small room where we fill in forms. For hours and hours sometimes. So, needless to say that it's nice to be writing something other than my name and ticking boxes for once. How are the goats? Are they still producing milk? They darn well better be. I will write again next week. I hope you are well. Give my love to Gustavo. Scratch him under his white beard. He loved it. Love your great-grand-niece, Gavrilla. That's a thing. Pick up, I don't have a watering can. I traded it for some cheese. For a game that's supposed to be very calming and relaxing, I'm feeling a lot of pressure to perform. Add more milk to the pot. I don't have milk. The goats, they don't milk. Come here. No. Let her. And, hey. That's difficult. Your pets are your family. They keep you alive. They are your friends. It is so hard to say goodbye. But alas, we all must say goodbye at some point. And I have a bucket of water that I do not know what to do with. Pink Eye is escaping! Don't you escape! Don't you run... Oh, no. I'm not. It's a very well-behaved goat, unlike every other goat in the world. Tikva, I am writing to you from a brave new world. I can already hear your booming laughter. Yes, I am reading this with a male voice because I can't do a female voice. Oh, except this is for my brother. So I will do it in a male voice. You don't have to convince me that it is you who is living bravely. Tell me you're still not trading cheese for bales of straw. I am not, because I have no cheese. Handmade cheese in the city costs what a plot of land would cost back home. I passed a market set up by a conclave of merchants and was sure one was selling your goat's cheese. I could tell by the way it was wrapped, though. I couldn't be certain. They could tell by the look of me I couldn't afford it, so I couldn't get a closer look. But it made me think of you, which means the markup price is very high. I wish you had come along when your brothers and I left, and that we had parted on better terms, but again, I can already hear your rebuttal. You cannot raise goats in the city! And on that point, I cannot argue. I just wanted to write, except I sold off my goat for a bale of hay. I just wanted to write as you came to mind recently. Remember when we would lay on the roof of the goat house and count the stars until we fell asleep? Well, there are few stars in the city on account of the lights and the pollution. There are few stars and even fewer pretty sights. Not a lot of fresh air or fruit either. Though I am making the best of my new life, I fear time is aging me quicker each day. Count the stars for me, Tikva, and tell them that I miss them all. My kindest sympathies, your brother, Semba. Okay, now I'm gonna learn how to milk a goat this day. I think I need the milking can and whatever this thing is. It might be the milking station. I have never lived on a farm. Hey. Okay, I have been missing so many days of milking. I lost a goat. Time for me to milk my goat. It was that easy. I lost mustard because... To dear Baba Tikva. Mama brought me to a newsagent today. I got the new issue of Wormgal and Laika. It was issue number 722. I will always remember the comics you had in your cupboard. The same comic, but it was Wormgal number 12 and Wormgal and Laika number 2. I was so happy to see a new issue and how many there have been. I didn't really follow the story much. Laika is now a robot. But it was still very fun to read and remember the summers at the farm. Mama told me to write that we had tea with your neighbor, Malmo, the man who owned the stables and always smelled of mint. He moved into our neighborhood, into the basement of the deli. He still smells like mint. He keeps telling things to Papa that make him worry. He fights with Mama while they think I am asleep. I heard them whispering last night about Daje Tar, saying that we should never have come to the city, that it would be safer back at the farm. Papa keeps mumbling that nowhere is safe, nowhere is safe, and Mama blames Daje Tar for filling Papa's heads with ideas. With lies. Last time Daje Tar... Bye-bye, Mr. Trader. Visited, he left in a hurry and yelled, "You would be better off digging holes and sleeping in them," at Mama and Papa. He hasn't been back since. Anyway, when I'm tired and don't want to listen anymore, I just look out my window towards the factories and the smokestacks. I have never seen a factory before moving to the city. I used to think that the farm was the whole world, and the city seemed like a different planet. Like where Wormgal is from. Bring it around back to the beginning. I miss you, Baba Tikva. Bye-bye. Love, town. Ooh. I can do a thing. I can do it. Oh, I'm getting cheese. I'm getting cheese. Finally, at long last. I'm getting cheese. Come on, cheese. Cheese. I can make cheese. I have currency for a old Russian peasant lady. Wait, are those two goats? Are those goats? Are those goats? Are those goats? Those are goats. Come, goats. Come to me. I desire shadow goats. Wait. Are those bad goats? Did this just turn into a horror game? Because that would be... not good. Oh, lordy, I messed up the stupid... Okay. So you can mess up stirring milk, I guess? And apparently I'm cooking a chicken. Well, you know what? I am content with my life, with my rural life, where I just raise pink eye and my 6 chickens and go about my business. By forcing the protagonist, Tikva, so it just sort of trundle about, it definitely forcibly slows down the pace of the game. There's a YouTuber named Matt Lees who discusses the speed of games and how it affects games overall, and he says that he was playing Sunless Sea and he sped up the game. He went into the game files and sped up how fast it went, just a little bit, just to, you know, he had played it before, so he was good there. But when he was done, he went into the game files to speed it up so that he could play it again at a little bit faster pace. But then he realized that at the faster pace, it wasn't quite fast enough. You know, you might as well just speed it up just a little bit more, and then you might as well speed it up just a little bit more, and then eventually it got to the point where he had sped up the boat so much that he had just run from point to point to read the stuff. And in his words, you know, how is that different than reading a book? So, from his standpoint, why, you know, speeding up the game, making it faster, rather than this slow build, this slow methodical process, it helped, you know, as soon as you took the slow process out of it, it sort of messed up the game a lot. And this game really forces you to slow down, to be calm. You know, it says it's meditative. I've said it's not meditative. This deliberate slowness makes you appreciate the game. It makes you appreciate the artwork. And yes, even though you know, it slows down the game and not everyone has time to play games and all this good stuff, this is a short one, and sometimes you do need to slow down. Sometimes you do need to unplug. My favorite vacation story ever was when my family and I went camping, and we had a canoe to our campsite, and we forgot every sort of timepiece ever. That is crows. I better not become a feast for crows. And sometimes you just need to slow down and enjoy life and just realize that sometimes the things that get us so riled and so anxious aren't what matter. You know, camping sort of unplugs you from that, and it lets you get back into nature. It lets you experience things, you know, the way things were. Enjoying nature, unplugging, getting away from the hustle and the bustle and the constant need for a watch. You know, you don't have to be there all the time. You don't have a schedule to keep. You don't have to be at a certain time at a certain place. You don't have to keep the house immaculate for guests. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to answer for your grades. You don't have to answer for your job performance. You can just enjoy. And to me, that is very valuable, and that's just something this game reminds me of, is just, you know, sometimes it's nice to just get away from all the societal pressures and constant having to think things through and be on your game, and that's a lot of crows. I'm not liking where this is heading, and my assumption is that I will not last much longer. Also, I'm out of hay, which if I had 2 goats, I could have been making twice as much cheese. So I could have afforded twice as much hay, and then it would have been cyclical, and I would have gotten nowhere anyway. But that's beside the point. The roads are no longer safe for travel during the day. They have closed all the borders. Blah, 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 blah. Luckily, the woman who lives on the top floor of our apartment... What? Clearly, things are not going well. You know, you can try to manage your life as much as you can, but in the end, there's only so much you can do. Tikva, it takes everything. It takes everything. When it reaches your farm, Tikva, please pray for... Oh, here we go. The roads are no longer safe for travel during the day. They have closed all borders. Luckily, the harbor is full of ships and boats. People have flooded the city as some kind... The city is like an old dog, melting snow. No one speaks. They just drink, and blah, blah, blah. The merchants have stopped coming to the city walls to trade. This means no wheat, blah, blah, blah. I pray for you out there, Tikva, that it has not reached you. I fall asleep half dreaming of blah, blah. There is no other paper left in the house, and my pencil is getting almost too short to hold. You may not hear from me again, Tikva. Tikva, it is coming. The animals of the country, the wolves and the loons, they cry in the night as the factories that once roared like the fire to fuel them now sit frozen like... The skies are gray day and night. The smell of sea becomes more rotten with... I was right. I was always right. They laughed at me back at the country, and they... I sleep in a tower of boxes, and all the lids are slowly but surely sealing themselves. Your brothers don't believe me. I'm planning on leaving before the winter freezes the... My prayers are with you, Tikva. May God spare you in your quiet corner of the... I fear my prayers will be answered, and if so, that you too are spared. This is weird. Very weird. And there you have Where the Goats Are. Not a very happy game. Definitely not a perky, make you feel good game. You know, you can do everything you possibly can, and still you don't win. And that's not a failing, that's not something wrong, that's not something that's not a weakness. It's just what happens. Things happen, and you do what you can with what you have, but sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's more than enough, and sometimes it's not enough. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Good night.